families, even the community, especially those people that are not even doing anything. Maybe they are just having a manual job to do, and for them even to get the job, not to talk about the money they are going to use even to take care of their family, is very difficult. So when we look at the situation, it has been so difficult, so difficult. Even for the workers, they can't find it easy at all. You know the salary you are getting at the end of the month, and before the end of the month, the salary is not even there for you. And with that situation, it will be so difficult even to cope with the situation. And we can see that Nigeria is every area of life. Every area of life is being affected. Look at our electricity, look at our fuel, look at food, and all other things like that. Even the most essential things, they are so costly now. When we get to the market to get food, it's a difficult thing. So you just have to cut your coat according to your clothes. So it's not something that you have to be flamboyant these days. You just have to manage with the little resource you are having. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Eda Folakimi, you've been a regular analyst on our station, and you've seen it all when it comes to how Nigerians are managing and coping with the challenge of the current economy. I was reading through an article written by former Minister of Finance, and the title of the article is the Bukata. One of the part of it is Bukata. It calls the challenge being faced by Nigeria Bukata economy. The Yoruba word Bukata means
problem,
livelihood, means of livelihood. All the expenses, food, transportation. We talk about healthcare, your rent. How are Nigerians really coping? We say we have this T-skin. How Nigerians are coping with the current economic challenge called Bukata economy?
I say thank you very much. To do justice to this topic, I think we have to make a flashback. Even to the era of former President Olusegun Obasanjo. We are not saying he was perfect when he was there, but there were some indications that the economy was well managed. And when he was leaving, he had paid all our external debts and handed over the administration to Yaradua, who unfortunately was short-lived. To Jonathan, we still remember it was still bearable, we were still managing. But during the inglorious era of Mohammed Buhari, everything went haywire. It was difficult for people to manage the insecurity and what have you. So let me go to Tinubu administration. I don't think anybody will want to assume power with a mission to destroy. And I am sure he came to power with a mission. But unfortunately, where I think he fumbled was the extempore removal of a subsidy without any good plan. I am saying this because if he had had a plan, he would have made a contingency plan to cushion the effect. And don't forget, by the time
85 naira. 85 naira. 185.
Okay. But at the end of 2004, it went to 600. Today we know how much it cost. And when there is a hike in the price of fuel, it will affect everything. Transportation, condition of our living, and everything. That was the problem, the first problem we had. And when this was announced, I was blaming the speech writer, but later I got to know that it was an impromptu something. maybe as a result of the victory he had won. So he was celebrating the phobia. And then with that heart, yes, I am going to do this. And in an attempt to oversmart the previous administration, we have so many other plans that we actually make people happy. But he must have forgotten the cabal, which we still believe is very powerful in the country. And now cabal is fighting back. I think he never took that into consideration. And excuse me. Then another thing is that I am not very sure whether the president, with his knowledge, when he was the governor of Lagos State, he actually wanted to transfer that skill to a whole nation of 36 states. Maybe today is overwhelmed. And the problem we are having too is that those people surrounding him, and you must have been hearing me on radio, they are not people that are very sincere. Look at what Ribadu said this morning. Why are you coming to power when you know you are not going to solve the problem? And sycophants are there. I used to condemn them. I am a Yoruba man. Call me a tribalist. I want Tinubu to succeed so that after his departure, we Yorubas can be very proud of him. But today, look at what is happening. Look at what is happening. People in poverty, the middle class situation in the country, who is now free. Even in your house, you will continue to recite litany. Because anytime they can knock at your door. And then you are carried away. Look at the way they slaughter them. Look at those children, 2 years old, 4, and so on and so forth, under this sun, rain, and what have you. Personally, I pray to God that every one of them will come home safe. Because under that condition, how will you expect a 2-year-old child to survive? Look at the one who was beheaded in a country where we have a president. This is very alarming. And then the situation, as I'm talking to you now today, there are some people who do not know what their children will take this morning. Some children have gone to school with empty stomach. And little attack in terms of health, they collapse. That is the problem, and that is the situation we are facing in the country at the moment. It's not a healthy one. And we must continue to appeal. I am glad he accepted that he voluntarily came to power and nobody forced him. And as a result of that, he must have known the situation before coming in. And some people are suggesting that he was a kitchen member.
Before you go ahead, it seems we put more emphasis and lay the blame on the doorstep of the president. And there has been argument about what happened to other arms of government, what happened to the state government, what happened to the effort of the local government, what happened to other initiatives than the president and the federal government when it comes to economic challenge Nigerians are facing.
Yes, you are right. At a breath, the president said we should go and meet our governors. My brother, do you think I can go to Okimosan and meet Dapo Abiodun with all the security apparatus around him? They will first of all ask me, why do you want to see the governor? From there, they will drag me back. I mean, nobody has the courage to go to the governor and face him. He's in a position to do that, but does he do it? President Tinubu doesn't do that. And I want to believe that because he's looking for, another tenure.
Okay.
That is why he's slow in doing all those things. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So let me turn over to Dickiness Dike. She's the woman here in our midst. What would you say are some of the common adjustments that you may have had to make as a result to survive this economic reality, or that some relatives close to you may have had to make to survive the current economic realities that we are in?
Okay, thank you. according to my elder here, he has taken the situation right from the top. And truly speaking, people are really passing through a lot of problems in their homes. Like he has said, even when I was some years back, as a teacher, when I see students drinking water from the tap in the morning, I will ask them why. They have not taken any food, they just take that water because there is nothing to eat. Now, looking at the situation now, we can see that so many families today, they were facing a lot of all this economic situation. I mean the inflation. Some cannot even afford to eat 3 square meal. They will try and make it up. Maybe to take their breakfast maybe around 12, then they skip that of lunch, then dinner. But what I just want to say is that it has been so terrible. But there are so many things that people can do. I used to tell them, whatever you can lay your hands to do it to get a source of income. This government we are having, sorry to say, in abroad, I think they used to give them palliative. They give them, when the economy is like this, they need, they have to do something to support their citizens. But here, nobody. From the federal level to the states, even to the local government, nobody cares for us. But I used to tell my people around me that, please, whatever you can lay your hands upon to do in a little way, at least to meet your source of income, to meet your need, try and do that. For you to sit down at home waiting for the government, I used to tell them it's not possible. This government is not ready for that. They are not the type of government that can, help the situation of inflation in our homes, in our families. So you have to sort out yourself and make sure you get something that will earn you what to eat. At least to eat first, then all other things. Situation like this, you can see people, they cannot go to the hospital. We have so many communities arranging for all this healthcare, health check or whatever in their community and in their environment. So because the government we cannot be waiting for the government. So I used to appeal to them to make sure that anything that will make them alive, that will not just kill them suddenly, they should try and work it out for themselves. Thank you.
Okay. So when we look at the current inflation, you've identified one of the factors responsible for the high rate of inflation, the removal of fuel subsidy. And the other is this unification of the exchange rates. And when you look at the dollars to naira now, it's affecting virtually everything. And the economic policy introduced by the current administration is described as having a long-term effect, that the benefit of it will come in the future, that Nigeria should tighten their belts. And whatever we are witnessing today is not peculiar to Nigeria. That is world over. The economy throughout the world is going through challenges. So how will you advise Nigerians to continue to tighten their belts? And based on the advice of the president and the government generally.
Thank you. My advice to the president is this. The situation is chaotic. People are dying. Some people will say, it's not only it's time that people are dying. Yes, it's true. But some of these deaths are not natural anymore. You say you talked about exchange rate. That is one of the problems we are having. And I want to believe that mismanagement is another. And wrong economic policies. You see, in Kenya, there was once this situation of withdrawal of a subsidy. I don't know which product. But when people cried out, there was a reversal. But today we have been crying out to the president. You see, the situation will remain the same if it's not dynamic enough, it's not courageous enough to bring back some policies that we actually address the situation. I mean, contingency, more or less a policy that we actually, you consider that we address the situation we have in the country now. I say it's chaotic. That is a fact. And don't forget that this insecurity of a thing is also responsible for high inflation rate, especially foodstuff and what have you. Everybody, they say the fear of this full enhancement is the beginning of wisdom. You go to your farm, they attack you there. Sometimes they kill and do whatever they like, and they go, without any being challenged. Yes, the military or the security operatives, I think they are trying, but I think they are overwhelmed, honestly speaking. And when America decided to offer some help, everybody was crying. And this is a sovereign country. This is that. Is it new? When you are not able, to curb the insecurity, why don't you seek for foreign assistance? There are so many other countries that have done that in the past. So it appears we are very, very helpless. And I think the president, he has said it, that he feels our pains. But I'm not very sure. And why? The flamboyant life these people, they are living does not suggest that they are actually feeling the pain. A situation where a senator, we earn as much as about 30 million, this and that, and some civil servants, even pensioners, are not being cared for, and the ordinary people on the street, they are not being cared for. What do you expect? But nobody is arguing that the military should take over. I don't want that.
Okay. Okay, please go on, sir.
But at the same time, let this government do the needful to make life more bearable for the people. I am telling you, my brother, I've said it, I don't live in an estate. I live among the people, see them, feel their pains. I have my own pains too. Look, I couldn't come with my car in my car now because of fuel, because of that. And so many people, they are off-road. When you look at all these things, you don't feel happy. Sometimes I wonder whether I'm in Nigeria. In Nigeria that used to, my brother.
Okay,
let me stop at that.
All right, Ella Kiyemi, how do you think this inflation is affecting small businesses and the informal sector, which employs a really large number of Nigerians?
Thank you, my brother. Sister. It is obvious that they should be affected. And reason being that the situation in the country, as I've said, look at insecurity. Look at inflationary trend. Exchange dollar, naira, exchange rate. I think there was a time when it was about 600 naira to a dollar. Today, I think it is over 1,500 and something. When you look at those things, how would those things not be affected? How many people can boast of, how will I describe this? When you are all alone, you discover that you are surrounded by challenges here and there, and your enthusiasm withers. And then when you actually put money in a business and you discover that you are not making any profit, will you not withdraw? Look at so many shops and so many industries, they have collapsed. Some industries, big ones, big companies are leaving the country because of power failure. In 2025, the national grid collapsed 13 times, an average of 1 point something a month. Since this year, as I'm talking to you, no light in my residence, in my house, the entire community there, for the past days now. And in fact, they hardly consider, and when it comes, It may be for just 5 minutes, then it's off again. Look at my dress. I couldn't iron my dress. So where you don't have a regular power supply to generate, what about the artisans and so many others? No light, nothing whatsoever. How do we do it? Diesel is very expensive. If you are lucky to have a generator or what have you, using diesel, very expensive. Petrol, very expensive. Palpable fear of insecurity unknown. You see, everybody, no, I don't think there's anyone, including those people in power too. They are very conscious. They go in a convoy of security. Do I have any security? Does anybody on the street have any security? Of course, no. Thank you.
Okay. No, someone asked me a question there some weeks back. Say between man and woman, who manage fund better? And in this economic situation in Nigeria, as a mother,
thank you very much.
How are our mothers managing the funds in the house, and what advice do you have for them?
Okay, thank you. I think women, we are the one managing the fund very well. You see, looking at the situation, by the time you have about 5,000 naira for meal, to make a meal, you get to the market and you see the price of rice. Thank God. In fact, I was so excited because from December last year, I think the price of rice is a little bit stable. It was not like before that you have to buy rice 100,000, 80, 90. So I think the women, we are the one doing that, getting to the market. The men, thank God for them, they will give us the money. No matter the amount given to us, we will still work.
It's not always enough.
It's not always. It can never be enough. I must tell you. Because women have to put some additional, if not above that 5,000 naira. But all the same, I think we manage what we have. Looking at the situation, when you get to the market, just look and see what is there. At times we are always disappointed, because when you get to the market with the intention that this is what you want to buy, this is what you want to purchase, you won't get that. You have to readjust your budget. So I think this is one of the way we manage whatever the amount or the resources we have for our maybe food and for other things that we want to buy. We have to get something. I know that some women, when they get to the market, instead of buying maybe 3 Congos of rice, they buy 2. They cut it down. Beans, they cut it down because they want to make everything. Gari, they want to make everything to be available with the little resources so that they can have varieties to eat. So that has been the situation. Although